Is that Bud Light?
Kind of looks like it. No, it's actually GWP. Mark McCarley is here.
And we've got ourselves a quorum. Let's make sure his camera works.
It works. Thank you.
Awesome.
Good.
Let's make sure his camera works.
Very good.
Okay, our phone lines are connected as well, so if we're ready to begin, I'll call G36.
Welcome, Mark. Welcome, Mark.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the April 14, 2021 Glendale Civil Service Commission meeting. I am Vice Chair, will be hosting the meeting tonight. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Historian?
Here.
Commissioner McCarley?
Here.
Vice Chair Hartunian?
Here.
For the record, Chair Abkarian and Commissioner Gazarian are absent.
Thank you. Mr. Doyle, what's the next item, please?
I'll have Mr. Petrosian read the item to the agenda, please.
Next item is minutes for the meeting of March 10, 2021.
Okay. We need a motion for approval.
I move to approve.
I believe we
For a
have
second.
Mr. McCarley a second and the historian a second.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Petrosian, what's next?
We need a vote on that.
Oh,
All in
Commissioner
favor?
Historian?
roll call, please.
Commissioner Historian?
Yes.
Commissioner McCarley?
Yes.
Vice Chair Hartunian?
I have to abstain. I was not present at that last meeting. Next item, please. Can we move on?
Oral communication? We have none.
Okay. Next item, recruitment and examination report.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, this item is our monthly recruitment and examination status report. Although we are still on a somewhat of a hiring freeze, we do still have well over 200 vacancies throughout the organization. And the city manager's office has granted approval to fill several of those that are the most essential at this time. Many of those involve our public safety departments, police and fire, and other assorted areas. So this report reflects, again, our current recruitment activity. It has the names of the positions, the departments, whether it's a promotional and an open recruitment, and any dates of the filing periods and dates of examinations. So this is a note and file item. If you have questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them. Otherwise, again, it's note and file.
Does anyone have any questions or comments? Looks like none. Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Mr. Petrosian, what's next?
Eligible list established.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Chair. This is the eligible lists established since our last meeting. We have quite a number, although many of them are in the police department area where you have various police officer lists that have been established. In total, we have a number of 16 lists that have been established. 7 of those are open, 7 are promotional, and then we have 2 that are promotional and open. Again, this is a note and file item. If you have questions about these lists, I'd be happy to try and answer them. Otherwise, as I said, it's note and file.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions? Looks like no. Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Are we on number 6, Mr. Petrosian?
Yes, sir. Class specifications for approval, Treasury and Investment Services Series, and Assistant City Treasurer Series.
Okay, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, this is a revised specification for 2 series within our City Treasurer's office. The first being the Assistant City Treasurer Series, and then the second is the Treasury and Investment Services Series. I guess I'll start out with the Treasury and Investment Services Series. Not a huge number of changes in these specifications. A lot of the updating of these specs with some boilerplate language, as well as the refinement of some of the education and experience for each of these positions. At the Treasury Services Technician 1 and 2, more of entry-level type positions versus the latter 2, the Treasury and Investment Services Technician and Specialist, are more at the professional level, and we're adding a bachelor's degree requirement for those. The second series is the Assistant City Treasurer Series, which consists of Deputy City Treasurer and Assistant City Treasurer. Although historically, we tend to fill that position either one or the other. It's either at the deputy level or the assistant level. Currently, it's filled at the assistant level because we have an individual who's held that role for many years. But this is a 2-position or 2 classification series. It has, again, minor changes, mainly just beefing up the experience requirement for both, as it is a very professional level experience or professional level position, one that Mr. Manoukian has really elevated to some degree during his tenure as the treasurer. That's the sum and substance of the changes. Again, a lot of boilerplate changes, and with that, if you have questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them for you. We do have our treasurer, Rafi Manoukian, here, as well as Ando Vardanian from my staff who worked with him on these changes. So, Mr. Chair, if you have anything or any action by the commission.
Mr. Manoukian, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'll open the floor for any questions. Looks like Mr. Gazarian joined us. Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Does anyone have questions on this item? I hear none. And I think this is the right. Thank Mr. Manoukian.
Mr. Chair, I have.
Sure.
Okay, I have one mildly interesting question. On page 11, of the report, or 3 out of 8. The third line says communicate effectively in English, both orally and in writing. And there is a strike through that. I don't know what that means.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioner. I'll have Mr. Petrosian, or no, I'm sorry, I believe it was Mr. Vardanian who worked on this. I believe that requirement is addressed in another area of the specification, which is why it's being stricken there. Mr. Vardanian, are you able to address that?
Yes. On the Vardanian human resources, yes, as Mr. Doyle mentioned, we did. It's a duplicate, therefore I did strike it out so that it would not be redundant.
Thank you.
It is mentioned somewhere else.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Any other question?
Okay, so Mr. Chair, this will require commission action.
Sure. I wanted to make sure there are other questions, and
I'll move the item.
I'll second it.
Mr. Chair, can we ask for a commissioner to make a second, please?
I
Otherwise,
will.
we'd have to ask you to pass the gavel. So the second is from Commissioner McCarley.
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Astorian,
Yes.
Commissioner Gazarian,
Yes.
Commissioner McCarley,
Yes.
Vice Chair Hartunian.
Yes. Next item, please. Georgia.
Job bulletin for approval, Senior Human Resources Analyst.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, this is a position within the Human Resources Department. This is a bulletin for Senior Human Resources Analyst. This is being brought before you because in its previous administration, this position was recruited for on a promotional basis. This position is a managerial position performing professional level human resources work primarily in the recruitment area, as well as some employment and labor relations areas. There will be supervision involved. We have looked at the minimum qualifications for this position involving 5 years of increasingly responsible journey level public agency experience. A minimum of 3 of those years must be at the analyst level or above. We do not believe that we have the individuals internally who would qualify to be on a promotional basis. So therefore, we're requesting that an open recruitment be conducted in order to seek the broadest pool of candidates for this job. If approved by the commission, the staff will post this as an open recruitment very soon and proceed with the process in that manner. If you have any questions, happy to answer those for you. And if not, would require commission action. So, thank you.
Do we have any questions?
Move to approve.
Second that.
Second is from Mr. Astorian.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Petrosian, can we move to the next item?
We'll need a roll call.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Astorian,
Yes.
Commissioner Gazarian,
Yes.
Commissioner McCarley,
Yes.
Vice Chair Hartunian.
Yes. Mr. Petrosian, can we move to the next item, please?
Yep. Up next, we have reports.
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, the only report I'm aware of is the report involving past due performance evaluations. As you can see from this report, it's just a one-page graph showing really the majority of the departments having no past due evaluations. We have two departments that have one each that are on their first notice, which is not bad for an organization of close to 1,400 employees. So I want to commend the organization. They continue to do a great job in spite of all the obstacles they've faced over the years, with some employees working from home, some employees in the office, and just a variety of other obstacles. But our supervisors and our managers do a great job staying on top of their performance evaluations. So with that, if the commission has any questions, again, I'd be happy to try and answer them. Otherwise, this is just a note and file item. So thank you.
Okay, do my fellow commissioners have any questions, please? Hearing none. Mr. Petrosian?
Civil Service Commission, staff comments?
Sure, Mr.
I want to thank the city of Glendale in its entirety, from its residents to the city council, management, and departments, for all the years that April 24 has been commemorated in the city. April 24 is upon us next Saturday, a week from this Saturday. To the extent the city acknowledges it, as it has in years past, to the sense that we are, as an Armenian American community, living post the 44-day offensive onto the Armenians of Artsakh. I want to thank, as an American Armenian, the city of Glendale for its past recognition and commemorations, and whatever it may be doing, circumstances with COVID permitting, this upcoming April 24th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kazarian. Any other comments?
Hearing none. Yeah, move
I
to
guess, I'm sorry. I guess I would just like to quickly echo Mr. Kazarian and express my gratitude to the city, the entire staff, all the different agencies for years of support and remembrance. And this year will be difficult under the pandemic conditions, but I'm sure there will be some events, and I know they will be with the city's cooperation. And I want to thank again on my behalf, my family, and all our Indian American and Glendale community. Thank you all.
Yes, Mr. Chair, if I might inquire as to our city employees who are full-time, perhaps Mr. Doyle, are there any formal city celebratory memorial events on or about April 24th with respect to the genocide?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner McCarley, I believe there are some events that would be addressed. As you know, because of the COVID restrictions, the usual event, a commemorative event that's held at the Alex Theater will not be permitted to be done this year as it was last year. But I do believe, and I don't have the specifics, my apologies, but I do believe our city manager's office and public information office are planning some events, whether it's educational or something done remotely. And my apologies that I don't have the specifics, but I'll consult with them and maybe send out a follow-up email to the commission on that.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Thank you for your question, Mr. Harley. Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Mr. Petrosian, next.
Adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Acting Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, and my apologies for my shortcomings. My debut.
Thank
Forward to others. Thank you.